Well, hello, everybody. I am Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman. I represent the 12th Congressional District and Paula Sollami Covello. And we're here to discuss voting in this new experience in unprecedented time. You know, there's been a lot of talk about whether our voting is going to be safe, whether your ballot will be counted, whether there's going to be fraud. So I just want to be clear here. Voting by mail is indeed safe. It is secure, it is legal, and it's an important way to make your voice heard. So I hope that after you watch this very short video, that you'll take a few seconds to decide how you're going to vote on this upcoming election. Your ballot can be safely dropped at any post office box, at any post office, or at one of the several clearly labeled county drop-off boxes that are being set up for this purpose. You should vote by mail early if you can, and to make sure that there's enough time to check that your ballot has been accepted and that there are no problems with it. You need to know that you're not going to get a ballot application. You're going to get an actual ballot in the mail. So Paula, what should our voters know about voting in this upcoming election?
They should know that this election will be very much like the primary in New Jersey with regard to the way that we are voting. It's going to be primarily a vote by mail election, which means that every registered voter in Mercer County will receive a vote by mail ballot. And that is actually true statewide. Every registered voter will receive a vote by mail ballot in the mail. And also, if you don't want to use that vote by mail ballot, you can still go to the polls and vote, but you will be voting by provisional ballot, which is a paper ballot, not in the voting machine. The voting machines are only going to be available for those people that have an audio or visual documented impairment. So very few people will be using the voting machine. It will be primarily a vote by mail ballot, as I said, with a provisional paper ballot as your option at the polls.
So how long will it be before people start to see their ballots coming in the mail?
Ballots are going to be mailed out in our county probably toward the end of September, and they have to be mailed out through October 5th under the governor's executive order. And then if new people register, they will get their vote by mail ballot through us after that. But the majority of ballots are going to be mailed out between September 20th and October 5th.
So, you just raised a good point. Voter registration is available up until October the 13th, right?
Yes.
And you can even register to vote online now, right?
Yes.
And if you do, you will get your ballot within a couple of days, which still gives you enough time to cast your ballot.
Yes, the state provided this new website now, so you can actually register online on this New Jersey State Division of Elections website, and you can become a voter. And then we also urge you at that point to send us a vote by mail ballot application if you're a new registrant, just to make sure we get that ballot to you. If you don't do so, we are sharing information back and forth between our offices, and we will likely get it to you, but we want to make sure that a new voter gets that application if they want to vote by mail.
So can you tell us what the ballot looks like, and what does the envelope look like? What should we be paying attention to doing to make sure it's done properly?
Yes, thanks for asking that. This is the ballot that will be coming in the mail. It will have this type of an envelope, and when it arrives, it will say official mail-in ballot. So don't throw it away. It's very important. And then inside of it, we will have instructions for you so that you can see how to fill it out properly. It is important that you fill it out properly because we don't want anybody's vote not to count. So please follow these instructions. We actually even have pictures on them so you can make sure that you do it properly. And then what you need to do is you need to take your ballot, and I have a ballot from the primary here. And this is a primary ballot from Hopewell Borough. Take this and you put your ballot, after you complete it with blue or black ink, into the inner envelope. You put it in, then you put the inner envelope inside of the outer envelope. And let me just do that for you.
And you got to put it in such a way that your return address shows in the window, right?
Right. So we'll go back to the Mercer County Board of Elections office if it's Mercer County, and you can return it in many ways, as you mentioned, including taking it to your polling location this year. You can go to your designated polling location and you can return your ballot there, which is something new. And it was designed to make it easier for people who wanted to return their ballots. Of course, as you said, postage is paid if you want to use the US mail. And you can also use one of our 16 county drop boxes. We have increased the number from 5 to 16 for the general election. And those do not go through the mail. So if you use a drop box, election officials will pick up your ballot and bring it back to the Board of Elections office directly. And there is no US mail involvement with that. So you have many choices.
Yeah. So let me ask that clarification here. Every place that we would go to vote normally when we would go to the polls, every one of those locations are going to be open on election day?
No, we're going to have 50% of the normal amount of polling locations open.
Okay.
And you're going to get a postcard in the mail instead of a sample ballot. And the postcard will tell you where your designated polling location is. And that's where you need to go to bring your ballot or to go vote provisionally if you want.
So I know that there are also going to be drop boxes. And these are very secure boxes that you can put your ballot in, and your ballot gets picked up and it gets taken to where it needs to go. When will we know? Will those postcards tell us where those boxes are, or how will people know where to find those boxes?
Yes, great. The boxes will be noted on those postcards in addition to your polling location. So that is one way you'll find out. But the other way you can find out is the New Jersey State Division of Elections website and the Mercer County Board of Elections website, and actually my office's website, the county clerk's website, will all have the locations of those 16 drop boxes. So if you want to get it done early before your postcard comes, you can take a look at one of those websites, find out where your drop box is that's closest to you, and go drop it off. And just to point out, you don't have to go to the one specific drop box near you. You can go to any county drop box in your county and drop off your ballot there.
So what do you think voting is going to look like in November?
I think that
In-person voting, what do you think that's going to look like?
Well, I do think that we would encourage people to vote on the vote by mail ballot that's coming right to your house, because that way you can avoid any lines or any problems like that. But I think that, we're going to have a nice turnout. It's a presidential year, big election. I think that it will be a little bit more crowded at your poll because you have less polls. But remember, you can vote by provisional ballot at the polling location, and you can vote and you can drop off your vote by mail ballot there. So I think you're going to have a lot of turnout, and I think it's going to be exciting.
Thank you for taking the time and probably clarifying a lot of questions that people have with regard to whether or not their vote is going to count, whether or not sending it in the mail is secure, whether or not they're going to be drop boxes, whether or not voting is going to be convenient. And I want to thank you, and I want to thank the governor as well for trying to make this voting experience under these conditions as convenient and as expedient and as efficient as possible.
Yes. Thank you so much, Congresswoman, for having me and for helping to get the word out. I think it's great that we're all doing this to make sure everybody's safe and healthy. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless.